It's a dangerous trend that politicians are busy using to serve their selfish agendas, from churches in Delhi and Hisar being targeted to the gang rape of a 72-year-old nun in Bengal. Governments have been caught napping. Are we doing enough to stop such attacks? Because if it continues, India could just be risking global isolation.
These monsters who broke into a convent and gang raped a 71-year-old nun are yet to be tracked down.
वो रिपोर्ट आया, वो कोई डिटेंशन हुआ है, अरेस्ट नहीं हुआ अभी तक. डिटेंशन हुआ है कुछ लोगों का, लेकिन अरेस्ट नहीं हुआ.
And 2 days after her convoy was blocked by angry protesters, the Chief Minister has handed the case over to the CBI.
Maybe they have run away to other states, they have run away to other country too. So for the to facilitate that inquiry.
As Ranaghat reels under shock, a top Catholic functionary visiting the town.
I met the sister and we prayed together and we prayed for everyone, and she conveys her love and affection and prayers.
The Christian community has faced a series of attacks in recent months, from burning of churches in Delhi to vandalization in Haryana to the horrific attack in Ranaghat.
Earlier, an image was created that it was a robbery, but it wasn't a plain robbery. The chapel was vandalized. The senior nun was called for and raped.
But instead of guaranteeing their safety, politics is being played out.
From the ruling party TMC, trying to politicize that event by calling that an extension of Ghar Wapsi. I think that is the most alarming thing that is happening in West Bengal. Everything and anything is getting a political color.
This is not the time to do politics, because if I start doing politics, then I can say a church was burnt in Delhi on 1st of December, 100 days have finished and nobody has been detained.
In the wake of protests in Delhi over church attacks in February, the Prime Minister had given this assurance.
My government will ensure that there is complete freedom of faith and that everyone has the undeniable right to retain or adopt the religion of his or her choice without coercion or undue influence.
But in the wake of the Ranaghat attack, all that has come is another assurance from the Prime Minister, raising doubts over whether India is doing enough to protect its citizens. Bureau Report, Times Now.
You're watching the second News Hour debate on Times Now Super Prime Time.
Most unfortunately, that empty chair once again is for the Trinamool Congress, which is trying to avoid discussing this issue. The first responsibility is that of the state government. The Trinamool Congress chooses to opt out of these debates. That's not going to ensure that these subjects are not spoken about on the News Hour. Tathagata Roy, member of the National Executive of the BJP not dodging tonight. In fact, two representatives, GVL Narasimha Rao and Tathagata Roy of the BJP. Congress not dodging tonight, Jaiveer Shergill of the Congress Party. Ritabrata, CPM not dodging tonight, Ritabrata Banerjee of the CPM is a member of Parliament, and Father Dominic Emmanuel is editor of The Word Among Us. Thank you all for joining us. First, on the issue of... by the way, I'd also like to welcome Joydeep Mukherjee. He's a lawyer of the Supreme Court. He leans towards the Trinamool Congress, I am told, on these issues. Do you, Joydeep, first of all, thank you for joining us. It's your debut appearance on the News Hour. Do you support the Trinamool Congress on this issue? And do you believe the state is not passing the buck by claiming that the brutal rape of the nun was a result of communal atmosphere created in the country by the BJP? If maintaining law and order is the state government's responsibility, how do you first blame the BJP and the central government?
First of all, respected Arnab, hello,
I can hear you loud and clear, yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes. Respected Arnab, because yes, I am very thankful for choosing this subject today. But it is an exceptional incident in the state of West Bengal, because it doesn't mean that it's the law and order situations of any state by seeing the one exceptional incident, but the way the political party, my simple submissions in very limited portions, that is I am condemning the such type of incident. Some goons they committed this type of offense, serious crime. So I am condemning as a lawyer, as an advocate Supreme Court, as a human rights activist, and I am condemning this the incident. But my submissions all to the all political party, don't do politics in this matter.
No. One second. Joydeep, one second. I accept what you're saying.
Yes.
I respect your views as well, but it goes beyond this. I want to get Tathagata Roy next into this case, because this particular school, I think Derek O'Brien, is like an ostrich. He's put his neck deep inside the sand. He does not want to address this own issue, because this particular school had received a threat only a few days before the incident, and no adequate security was provided. Tathagata Roy, do you want to come in? 5 days after the incident, despite all the attackers being caught on camera, the state government cannot escape blame for its failure to even make a single arrest. If this incident was, Tathagata Roy, a result of the communal atmosphere created in the country, okay, Ritabrata, hand go up. I'm going to go to him. If this is a result of the communal atmosphere created in the country, Ritabrata, whose responsibility is it to ensure the perpetrators are caught? It's Mamata Banerjee first.
No, as far as this case in Bengal is concerned, Arnab, this is the lawyer from Supreme Court who is linked to us, the Trinamool Congress, was telling that this is an exceptional case. This is completely rubbish. Today, after this 71-year-old nun was raped in Ranaghat, today in Bardhaman, we have an incident of a 75-year-old lady raped and killed. In last 29 days in Bengal, where 18 women have been raped. This is the reality. In 29 days, you have 18 women raped in a state. The government in Bengal that continues in a denial mode, and the Chief Minister, many questions are there, because this is a law and order subject, and as you have already pointed out, that earlier this St. Joseph and Mary convent, they had gone to the police because threat calls were coming, no security was there. And you have the CCTV footages, clear pictures of these hooligans. In spite of that, 5 days, the Chief Minister took 3 days to go to the spot, and now today, after 5 days, his ministers are telling all those things, that Bangladesh border is very near, people may have gone there. So what were the police doing for 5 days? You have the CCTV footages. The police was in a complete paralyzed condition, because in the state of Bengal, where there is an all-round war on democracy in general and war against women in particular, this is the sorry state of affairs in which Bengal continues. And today, the Chief Minister has tweeted, the Chief Minister is telling, now I am inviting a CBI probe. Our question is very clear, whether CBI has agreed to probe into the incident, whether the Chief Minister is telling that this is a very sensitive incident, the rape of another 75-year-old lady in Bardhaman district. Is it not sensitive? Is it not serious? The Chief Minister has no time to tweet. The government in Bengal, a paralyzed government that is continuing a reign of terror, and we are the worst sufferers. The people of Bengal are the worst sufferers.
What surprises me is the quick political context in which these incidents are looked at. And my question is to the Congress party, and after that the BJP and Father Emmanuel can also come in. You see, my question is, today, I'm coming to you, Tathagata Da, I see your hand go up there, but I want to ask the question first to the Congress, sir, with your permission. Because the question is this: yesterday we saw the Trinamool Congress and the left, of course, go with Sonia Gandhi right up to Raisina Hill on the land acquisition bill. As a result, I presume the Congress party today does not have the courage to take on the Trinamool Congress. You will take on this whole issue as an issue of the BJP being a communal party, which therefore is responsible for the spurt of communal violence in the country. Why don't you take on the Trinamool Congress, Mr. Jaiveer Shergill? Why don't you? Why don't you take on Mamata Banerjee, Mr. Shergill?
Can I answer?
Yeah.
Okay, 2 points. Number one, this incident, the unfortunate incident in West Bengal, is a pure breakdown of a law and order situation. There is no leeway of any politicization of this incident. And I don't think so. Congress party is remotely politicizing. Rather, we heard statements from Surendra Jain, VHP General Secretary, saying sexual exploitation is the culture of the church. So these elements, fringe elements affiliated to the Bharatiya Janata Party are
politicizing the issue. Where does the VHP come into this?
No, I am.
Look at the way. Look at the way. Look at the way. The Constitution. One minute. Look at the way. Look at the way in which you are protecting Mamata Banerjee.
Puts the duty. No, I'm not protecting. I am saying it is a failure of the law and order situation. Fair investigation has to happen. Whether CBI, whether state government, there has to be one goal: to book the perpetrators of this horrific crime, and no politicization should be done.
No, so what is
Having said that, number two, the series of incidents in the past have cast a doubt. There is a sense of insecurity amongst the minorities since the BJP government took over. Constitution casts a duty on the BJP government to protect the minority, but they have failed because, ironically, they don't believe in the Constitution.
So you're
History
saying
is witness to the fact that whenever BJP at center of state has come to power.
Tathagata Roy would like to respond to that, please. Tathagata Roy, so it comes back to the whole.
Yes.
No. So no, 1 minute.
Now the congressman, after putting in a caveat that he is not going to politicize this issue, he is trying to obfuscate it. He is trying to obfuscate it by saying what had happened in Haryana, what had happened in Delhi. This is a reaction of that, which is exactly what the Trinamool people are saying.
Let me give you a factual correction, sir. The statement about politicization came from Haryana, from Surendra Jain, who is Haryana, who said this.
You are politicizing it. Let me make it very clear. You are politicizing it here and now. You are speaking on behalf of Trinamool Congress. You are speaking on behalf of Trinamool Congress because you can't unconditionally condemn it.
Which member of Trinamool Congress?
I can hear you. You can't condemn it.
Which member of Trinamool Congress?
You do not know what is happening in West Bengal. Let me be very clear. You do not know what is happening in West Bengal, but I know. And your Congress colleagues know. You ask Mr. Adhir Chaudhary what is happening in West Bengal. In West Bengal, there have been two major communal riots which have been engineered by the Trinamool Congress. Two MPs of Trinamool Congress, one called Haji Nurul Islam, the other called Ahmed Hassan Imran. One in 2010 in Degonga, one in 2013 in Canning. These two Trinamool MPs have engineered communal riots. So it is not merely...
Mr. Tathagata Roy, am I to understand... Mr. Roy, am I to understand... This question is to you as well as to GVL Narasimha Rao. Firstly, I want a clarification. Am I to understand that you're firmly against anything which communalizes the atmosphere in a state like Bengal right now? Am I to believe that you're against any attempt to communalize the atmosphere in Bengal? Then my second question to you follows from that.
Absolutely.
Then my second question to you, Mr. Ray, follows from that.
Ask the BJP people.
No, 1 minute.
BJP people.
Absolutely.
Then my second question follows from that, and my second question is this. My second question is this.
West Bengal for the last 4 years, even earlier, because the Degonga riots took place in 2010, which were
my second question. My second question is this. My second question, Mr. Jaiveer, please stop. Jaiveer, stop. Jaiveer, please, I request you, please. Otherwise, my second question will not be asked and it will go unanswered. You want my question to go unanswered by the BJP, Jaiveer? Let me ask the question. I am sure Mr. Rao and Mr. Ray will give me an answer. Mr. Tathagata Roy and the BJP says we are against anything that communalizes the atmosphere, by which I presume you are also in support of strong law and order action against those who try and communalize the atmosphere. Absolutely. I'd like to tell you both gentlemen that a Bahu Lao Beti Bachao movement has been started by Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh affiliates, the Vishwa Hindu Parishad, the Hindu Sahmati, Samhati, the Hindu Jagran Manch, the Bharat Sevashram, to purify, quote unquote, purify Muslim brides in Bengal. According to their own estimates, quote, at least 500 Muslim and Christian women have become Hindus through marriage. They say that this is our answer to Love Jihad. Now you are aware that this is happening in 24 Parganas, North 24 Parganas, Murshidabad, Howrah and Birbhum. I would also like to quote to you, please, what Badal Das, who is in charge of his organization's campaign for the VHP, has said. He has said that all these women have adopted Hindu names and they have been advised to join the BJP for their own safety. In other words, this is happening right under our eyes, and they say this is the only way to fight the menace called Love Jihad, which your Home Minister, by the way, says he doesn't know what it is. Now, Mr. Tathagata Roy and GVL Narasimha Rao.
And Arnab, one thing.
No, point is understood. Point is understood.
Let me hear the question from Arnab. Everybody is asking questions.
My question is.
Please, Mr. Congressman, hold your horses. You will have time. Please hold your horses. Let me hear the question from Arnab.
The question is simple.
Answer me. Why have you adjusted Sadhvi Niranjan Jyoti in National Executive?
Mr. Are you taking over as the anchor of the program? 1 second, please, Jaiveer. Then you'll have to join journalism, which is now not possible for you, because I don't believe people who go into politics can come back into journalism. You were never in journalism anyway. Some people in journalism want to leave journalism and come back into journalism after straying into politics. We won't let it happen. Anyway, going back to the subject. My question is to GVL Narasimha Rao and Tathagata Roy. What have you done? Do you believe there should be strict action against the VHP, which is trying to polarize the atmosphere in Bengal? No, let them answer. So we'll have GVL Narasimha Rao first.
Let me be very clear.
GVL Narasimha Rao and Tathagata Roy, either of you. Now, what's
willful.
No, let GVL Narasimha Rao go first, sir, please.
To answer that.
No, I know, but let GVL Narasimha Rao go first. He hasn't spoken. Yeah.
No, let Mr. Roy speak first. I'll come in later.
Yeah, if only you would be as polite towards your political rivals. Yes, Mr. Roy.
Yes. First thing, Arnab, I would like to emphasize that a marriage between a Muslim woman and a Hindu man not by compulsion but by option is got nothing to do with the dastardly rape of a
why does the VHP get into it?
None.
Why does the VHP get into it? Ritabrata now. Ritabrata.
What is the harm in
Ritabrata.
Haven't you heard marriage being broken? Why shouldn't the VHP get into it? I am not here on behalf of the VHP. But if the VHP brokers a marriage between two people, what is wrong about it?
Whether Tathagata Roy and GVL Narasimha Rao are condemning that incident, I want a categoric answer.
Mr. Rao, please. Mr. Rao now, please.
What?
Mr. Rao.
What incident?
Talking about?
Which incident are you talking about?
I am talking about the incidents in Delhi. I am talking about the vandalization of a church in Hisar. I am talking about Mohan Bhagwat's comment about Mother Teresa. What is the stand of BJP?
I have said it very clearly.
Mr. Narasimha Rao or Tathagata are condemning the incidents.
If you had heard me clearly earlier, you would have known that I have absolutely and unequivocally condemned each one of these attacks. But what is being obfuscated?
You are condemning Mohan Bhagwat. Are you condemning Mohan Bhagwat? The comment against Mother Teresa, are you condemning Mohan Bhagwat? I want to know that.
The criminalization of politics is going on in West Bengal. The Degonda riots. You are not
one wrong cannot be justified.
Degonda riot took place when your party was in power.
The army has to be called out. Another wrong. Everybody knows what is happening in Bengal.
One second. You say tonight. I'm sorry, Mr. Rao. Mr. Rao, 1 second. Mr. Rao will speak next. I find complete opposites between what the Prime Minister of India says and what his Chief Minister in Haryana says. Prime Minister of India says, my government will work towards the freedom of faith. Chief Minister of Haryana says, Christian priests lure Hindu youths, and he makes statements which is making a case for the accused in the attack on the Hisar church case. 13 people are on the loose. I don't know whether the Chief Minister of Haryana does not know Article 25 of the Indian Constitution. And why the Chief Minister of Haryana speaks one language and the Prime Minister of India speaks another language. Yes.
BJP is committed to freedom of religion only on paper.
My party is absolutely clear. that the position
Can I have my say, Mr. Ray? Can you,
Prime Minister of India.
Will you please allow me to speak?
Free to profess
Mr. Rao.
any religion they like.
Mr. Rao, Mr. Rao.
Under the existing
Mr. Rao now, Mr. Rao, only Mr. Rao.
Mr. Rao. They are free to change their religion. They are free to marry a person from another religion. What is so wrong about that?
What is wrong? What is wrong, Mr. Ray? What is wrong, Mr. Ray?
I think you are quoting selectively.
Hurts me to see.
I think the action of the state government.
On behalf of the Trinamool Congress.
Mr. Ray, can I have my say?
Outside the parliament, they are holding a procession together and fighting the land bill. That is why they are holding cudgels on.
I request Mr. Rao to be on air, please. Mr. Rao. Mr. Rao. Mr. Rao. Mr. Rao.
Categorically said the
Mr. Rao, you understand the point. What is happening here is that the position of the BJP.
Yeah, in Haryana, I think the action of the state government has been very prompt.
Really?
14 or 13 people have been named in an FIR.
13 are on the loose.
And the prime accused, please listen to me, the prime accused has already been arrested. And what you are reading out is an excerpt from the Chief Minister's speech in Assembly, where he was just narrating the incidents that have led to this attack. He was not justifying anything. So please don't think this is not his version. He was only recounting. He was only narrating the incident.
Okay,
and the state government
Mr.
have
Rao,
taken firm action on this,
Mr. Rao,
unlike in West Bengal.
Mr. Rao, I'll tell you
the
what.
state government has taken firm action.
Your chief minister,
two faces of a single coin.
No, your chief minister, Mr. Rao, was defending the demolition of the church.
No.
Yes, he was.
Please, no. I think read.
I have read it. I have read it.
No, please, I don't agree. I disagree. I have read it. I have read it.
Faces of a single coin.
He was building up. I'll tell you one thing.
He was only quoting.
Mr. Rao, please. You know what he said. You know what he said.
By the police authorities.
This is quite disgraceful. By the way, I want to know whether you feel we need to take strong action now against the Vishwa Hindu Parishad. You believe?
Action for what? And if they have done something unlawful,
okay. I'll tell you. No, we ask a question. Let me answer.
Who's telling you?
I'll tell you action for what. I'll take you action for what. I want to ask you, and don't get shaken. I want to know from you, the BJP, a party which says we will work towards the freedom of faith. You ask me action for what? Well, I want action against the VHP for supporting the gang rape of a 72-year-old Catholic nun in Bengal.
I think you can't catch the culprits. I think it's so funny.
No. One second. I'll tell you now, Father Dominic Emmanuel can come into the debate.
You cannot be running a campaign.
What campaign?
I think you cannot running a campaign.
What campaign am I running? What campaign am I running?
No, BJP rewards.
No, what campaign am I running? Let me. Can I be on air with Mr. Rao?
Why are you posing these questions to us?
Mr.
Why are you
Rao,
asking these questions to me?
Mr. Rao, this is the news hour. Okay, so I'll tell you.
How is the BJP concerned?
No, I'll tell you what. How is the BJP concerned?
Why are you asking these questions to us?
Okay, so here's a question. By the way, you know, Mr. Rao, I have told you this the last time. I've told you that if you cannot answer a question, you can say, you know, Arnab, I can't say anything against the VHP because we are scared of the VHP and we don't want to take on anyone who's associated with the Sangh Parivar.
Saying if they have done
don't try this
illegal,
trick. Arey bhai,
unlawful,
Mr. Rao, you know this. You know this. What will you take me to court for? What do you say?
No. I said if they have done something unlawful, let the law take its course.
No, I am asking you.
I only speak for the BJP.
I am asking you. Okay, so I'll tell you one thing. There is a VHP Joint General Secretary, Surendra Jain. He says it is Christian culture to exploit nuns. What is your view on it?
I don't agree with this at all.
Don't agree. How mild can he be? This is all that the BJP spokesman can say. The VHP defends the gang rape of a 72-year-old nun, and all the BJP, India's ruling party, by the way, India's ruling party can only say, you know what, we don't agree with it. Disgraceful. Dr. Emmanuel, please, what do you want to, is this enough? Is this the kind of response that generates faith? Dominic Emmanuel?
You think they should be hanged?
No, I think you should have the courage to take a position on it.
No, let me.
I'm taking a position.
No, you are not.
Actually,
no, you are not. No, you are not.
We do not agree with
no,
them
you
at
are
all.
not.
I
don't agree with
Actually,
what do you mean I don't agree with it?
I think you are not acting against the criminals who have done the rape, and you want to simply take action against somebody else. How funny it is, how shameful it is. We are not discussing the crime at all.
Aren't you both part of the Sangh Parivar? Isn't the BJP and the VHP all both part of the Sangh Parivar?
Mr. Rao, are you Dr. Emmanuel?
Dr. Emmanuel, please continue.
Now, I have been listening very quietly to the whole discussion, and I say it is the most despicable thing that on such a pitiable act, politicians are having a grand day, that they are arguing among themselves about everything. I am just thinking of this poor nun who, despite having undergone such atrocious activity or act on her, has been constantly telling people, I want to forgive these people. I want to forgive these people. Only what I want is that such a thing should not happen to anybody else. That is the culture that Mr. Surinder Jain should know comes from the Christian culture or Christian community. And he has gone on to say so many things. And I really feel very, very sad today. Honestly, very sad. That when such a thing has happened, we are politicizing it. And on this program, Mr. Who was that who said about the 75-year-old woman who has been raped? We should all hang our heads in shame for all these things that are happening. And I'm not interested whether Trinamool or BJP or Congress or CPM is fighting over it. I don't care at all. I am more concerned about what is happening to my country. Whoever is responsible for it, whoever is spreading the atmosphere or the poison in the air. But this is awful. And I have not mentioned that anybody responsible for this. Whoever is responsible must be held and must be
what you must
arrested
understand.
And action should be taken
What you must understand.
But let us.
What you must. I just want to add one small point here, Father Dominic Emmanuel. You know, a mandate, the BJP, okay, first of all, I think it's cowardice of the Trinamool Congress to keep running away from issues like this. They really need to answer what happened in Bengal. But I must also say Tathagata Roy and GVL Narasimha Rao. It is also cowardice to look the other way. It is cowardice to let a VHP Joint General Secretary defend the gang rape of a 72-year-old nun, and it is cowardice not to realize that the mandate that was given to you on the 16th of May was a mandate to rule, not a mandate to look away. You have turned it, Tathagata Roy, into a mandate to look away.
Have you?
Arnab. Into a mandate to look away when it concerns the VHP.
I think I'm so shocked, Arnab. You are not looking at the crime at all.
I am looking at the incidents across the country. I am looking at a VHP office bearer. I am looking at the VHP office bearer defend the gang rape of a 72-year-old nun. And I am looking at a BJP representative who only can say I disagree with it. Can't you say something more forceful than that? Can't you use stronger language than that? Can't you do something more than that? Can't you dissociate yourself from it?
How silly you are discussing, you are not discussing the crime.
I condemn it. What more
Tathagata Roy.
You want me to gesticulate? You want me to stand up?
Yes, go ahead, Tathagata Roy.
I said I condemn it, but there's something more to be said. What has happened in West Bengal is being hidden by the absence of the Trinamool Congress representative here.
I agree with you.
Should also look at the way the Chief Minister of West Bengal has behaved following this rape. She had come over there, and when the masked school students had gone and asked her questions about it, she lost her head. She started shouting. She said in Bengal, I'll blast your cheeks with one tight slap. Why? Because they were challenging her. They were feeling indignation at the rape of the sister, the mother that they had held so much in respect. This has been the attitude of Mamata Banerjee and the Congress right through. In the Park Street rape case,
Mr. Ray,
only Tathagata Roy.
Mr. Ray,
one of you at a time. One at a time. First of all, Dominic Emmanuel comes in. Dominic Emmanuel comes in.
Yeah.
One person at a time. Dominic Emmanuel taking on
Mr. Ray. Mr. Ray.
One after the other, BJP is rewarding those who attack.
Mr. Ray, all that I want to ask you, Mr. Ray, all that I want to ask you is, where were you when Mr. Bhagwat, right under your nose in Kolkata, called the missionary, and sister who's been raped is a missionary. He spoke about missionary in this way: they are thieves. Now they have been caught, and I want my mal back from these thieves. Where were you that time? And these kind of statements, I am sorry to say, now you are doing your lip service to say that I condemn this act and all this pure lip service, if you had nothing to say to Mr. Bhagwat right in Kolkata when he made this remark in December.
How can BJP leaders condemn Mohan Bhagwat? I have been asking whether the BJP leaders, both of them are present, whether Tathagata or GVL Narasimha Rao is condemning Mohan Bhagwat for his continuous statements he has been making. We just want a categoric answer whether the BJP is condemning Mohan Bhagwat.
Has the left imposed emergency in this country?
I'll answer that question.
One second.
I will answer that question. You finish asking that question.
GVL Narasimha Rao is saying something. What are you saying, Mr. GVL?
You finish that question, I'll answer that question.
Mr. Narasimha Rao,
what Mohan Bhagwat said,
no, I am saying something, yes.
But did he ask anyone to rape a nun? Did he ask anyone to rape a nun? There is a Trinamool Congress MP who directly
when you call them when
no, question is what?
March, what did MP
Tathagata Roy, remember, please, Mr. Modi.
Who had been guilty of pushing
you see, you must understand.
Threatening to push men into girls' houses.
We must remember. What
are you talking about?
Tathagata Roy, the fact is, okay, one second. Is there?
What your government has to answer for?
Just a minute. GVL Narasimha Rao. Do you see? GVL Narasimha Rao. First is.
Both, we need a specific answer.
No, one minute.
Why are BJP not on the
There are
roads
only
today in
two
Bengal?
questions.
You have another rape. In 29 days, you have 18 rapes in Bengal.
Forget only Bengal. We look at the national perspective. Do you believe, GVL Narasimha Rao, that there has been a series of incidents of attacks on Christian community, on Christian houses of worship, and the Christian population of this country being targeted since the Narendra Modi government assumed power? Do you see a series of such incidents or not?
I think not on the population. I don't think there is any evidence for you to say that any Christian people or population have been targeted. Cite
Christian
me one
community?
instance or take back your words.
Mr. Narasimha Rao, what facts are you talking about?
I'm asking you. Please, no, I'm asking Arnab. Please tell me, where have Christians been targeted? Come on. I'm asking you a specific question. This is persecution conflict. Certainly, tell this Shergill to keep quiet for a while.
2008, a wave of attack.
Please keep quiet for a while.
History is witness to
where have Christians been targeted? This is propaganda.
Especially Christians.
Propaganda.
This is propaganda.
Six churches in Delhi,
let's talk on the basis of facts.
Christians have openly voiced. They are feeling strangers in their own nation.
You don't have to.
Okay, so here's one.
Our government is particularly
Mr. Rao, you have as a politician, Mr. Rao, as a politician and as a ruling party politician, Mr. Jaiveer Shergill, 1 minute. Mr. Shergill, 1 minute. As a politician, ruling party politician, you have many privileges, including having an ostrich-like attitude, if you choose to have one. But the fact is, when I say the Christian community, Christian people being targeted, I mean all the attacks which have happened also on Christian institutions, Christian churches, Christian houses of worship.
Christian, please tell me one instance. I'm not aware of one instance.
You are not aware of one instance. What happened in Hisar? No, what happened in Hisar?
No, I want to tell you, Arnab.
What happened in Hisar?
Delhi, many temples also have been target of attack.
What?
But special attention has been given to churches.
See, this is the
Prime
problem.
Minister has instructed the Delhi Police Commissioner.
You see,
special arrangements are being made.
okay, so here's one point. Yes.
And in the case of Haryana, the action of the government has been very prompt.
What action?
What do you expect the government to do?
Mr. Narasimha Rao, let's debate with me on facts.
When you have no facts, you have only lies. Congress party has only lies to offer. Congress party has only lies.
You know what, Mr.
And you have no credibility and you have no facts.
Gujarat has been attacked. 22 churches were burnt in Gujarat. You suffer from a classic ostrich syndrome. Get over the Lok Sabha.
When your party was in power, you have only a minority complex.
India will be
what happens to the rest of the population? Congress party was responsible for all the communal rights in this country. The worst riots happened under your rule.
Mr. Narasimha,
in all the states, including Gujarat.
Have you heard about a gentleman called Kuvar Bharat Indra Singh? Have you heard about him? Have you heard about MP Yogitya Dattanath? Have you heard about
so many of your leaders?
They are all in your national executive. They are in your national executive.
Have you silenced Vijay Singh for all the nonsense that he uttered?
This is the point when I will close the debate.
Have you not had?
Okay, this is a point now. Now, 1 second, Mr. Rao, and Mr. Tathagata Roy, I want to say something to them. I feel it's not unnatural for me to expect, as a media person, as a citizen of this country, it is not unnatural for me to expect that the onus of responsibility always lies on the ruling party. In Bengal, the ruling party is the Trinamool Congress. The onus lies on them, and they are not answering. At the national level, Jaiveer, can I say something without, at the national level, the onus lies on the BJP. I just want to, can I make a point? May I make a point to GVL Narasimha Rao? Because I find nowadays that GVL Narasimha Rao, who used to be a fairly rational person till before May 16th, after May 16th is becoming completely irrational. I'll tell you why, Mr. Rao. First, in the case of Hisar, the attack was defended by the chief minister. The attack on a church, unacceptable. In the case of the gang rape of the 72-year-old nun in Bengal, the gang rape was defended by the VHP. You have not really taken on the VHP for that. And in the case of Mother Teresa, her motives were called suspect by the RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat. And if you cannot take on Mohan Bhagwat, if you cannot take on Mr. Khattar, if you cannot take on the VHP, say so. If you cannot take on Mohan Bhagwat, if you cannot take on the VHP, if you cannot take on the RSS leadership, it is your problem.
What has this got to do with them? Just before the election.
You have to instill faith back. Mr. Rao, you may not realize this now, but you have to instill the faith back that you want to govern, not that you want to just turn a blind eye to your Sangh Parivar associates.
Please, I think
you are not elected, Mr. Rao, Mr. Rao, you were not elected to defend Sangh Parivar associates.
There is no action.
Mr. Rao, you were elected to defend national interest, not Sangh Parivar interest. You were elected to defend national interest, not Sangh Parivar interest. If you want to defend only Sangh Parivar interest,
national interest,
you've got it wrong.
You are politicizing. Just without having the facts with you.
I don't know. We are politicizing. I thought the Sangh Parivar wasn't a political party. Dominic Emmanuel.
Arnab, lest Mr. Rao goes to sleep with his poor memory, just before he goes to sleep, I would like to refresh his memory by saying that when you started about good governance on Christmas, whom were you attacking? When Mr. Bhagwat calls missionaries chore, whom were they attacking? when Mr. Bhagwat says that Mother Teresa was doing her charitable work with conversion. Whom were you targeting? Wait on. When you talk about, listen, Mr. Rao, listen, I haven't finished yet. I haven't finished yet. When you were talking about anti-conversion law, whom were you attacking? When Jyoti Niranjan speaks about Haramzade and Ramzade, whom was she attacking?
Which are not there. You are reading.
What violence? This is worse violence. This is worse violence. Physical violence can get all right after a few days, but what mental torture? What mental torture that you are subjecting the Christian community to is worse than physical attack, my dear Mr. Rao and Mr. Ray. You please answer me. Earlier I asked you and you did not answer. Are you going to condemn? Mr. Ray, you are from West Bengal. You have seen Mother Teresa working there. Mr. Ray, you are from West Bengal. You have seen Mother Teresa, how she worked. Did you say a word against Mr. Bhagwat that she was after conversion? How many people have you seen that she converted? Mr. Ray, did you open your mouth? Then don't speak about this despicable about raping a nun and all that. All these kind of things lead to raping of the nun. Please. No.
Personally, I am the product of a Catholic school. But I will not say that Mother Teresa's record is unblemished.
Okay, I think at this point of time I'll close the debate.
That Catholic school.
I once again believe the Trinamool Congress, at least the BJP, one second, at least the BJP has taken questions tonight. At least the BJP has taken questions tonight, Dominic Emmanuel. What about the Trinamool Congress? Where is Derek O'Brien hiding tonight? I think the question to ask is, the bigger question to ask is this: where is Derek O'Brien hiding tonight? Thank you very much for joining me on this debate on the Newshour tonight. Thank you.
This is Times Now, Super Prime Time.